give all and glory and praises to
Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakadash.
abundance to our apostles and elders, great millstone. Salutations to our sincere Akim, which is where across the four corners of the world. You know, we're here, you know, this Wednesday, mid-camp, you know, going into prophecy, you know, which is said, which is said before. What we're saying is the downfall of America, known as Babylon the Great, according to the scriptures. We have an article from newstarget.com. It's going to go more into biblical prophecy.
All right. Yeah, the source is News Target. And this article is entitled, "Is the American Food Supply Chain Collapsing?" And this article was posted on the 6th of October 2021.
Right. So you see what's going on in the UK with the global supply chain crisis. So what's happening over there is really like what's going to be happening over here in the main hub, known as America, according to the scriptures. You know, Babylon the Great. You know, it's part of geopolitics, like you stated. You know.
All right. Back into the article, it states the word of the month is inflation, transitory inflation. My bad. Supply chain woes and other problems are all going away soon, we are told, except for the fact that they are not. All right. The supply chain crisis with food alone is much worse than the mainstream media is letting on. Despite all of the rosy language being used to try to quell the panic.
This First Thessalonians 5:3. For when they should say peace and safety, this sudden destruction come upon them as travailing upon a woman with child.
Yeah, so that's what mainstream news is doing right now. Which, you know, go to that word media, it goes to like that channel, a medium, where they're trying to channel your energy. So they try to tell the people what's happening over there in the UK is not coming over here to America. But what you saying what's happening over there in the UK with the global supply chain crisis is definitely going to happen to America. Because Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, he's utilizing the leaks of Esau Edom to say the best for last, man. This is that main hub, you know?
And this is according to Michael Snyder of the Economic Collapse blog, who says that an industry insider spilled the beans to him about how serious things really are. This is according to Michael Snyder of the Economic Collapse blog, who says that an industry insider spilled the beans to him about how serious things really are.
This book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 3, who work their tongue like a sword and bend their bows, like it says in this is Psalm 64:8. So shall they make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away.
And that goes to these different whistleblowers that's been a part of these secret councils of the higher ups. So here they are, they knew of these different secrets. Now they come out into the forefront and they should, you know, they unleash their beams. What's going on to Esau's secret plans, man? So that's the time frames that we in now. Everything's been exposed on all notes and spectrums. Okay?
It states, this insider, who is said to run a grocery store in Maine, says things are worse than he has ever seen. His exact words were that he has never seen anything close to what is happening now.
It's like, and I read an article saying a guy said it in like Massachusetts or Pennsylvania. They gonna do the same thing too.
Yeah.
So.
This second Ezra 6:22.
In an email, this person who says he has been self-employed for 25 years and runs an independent IGA affiliated grocery store along the coast of Maine explains that supply chain problems are real and then orders are seriously backed up.
Because those among the pop stores, you know, the middle class, upper middle class people, they own these different businesses, man, they gonna feel it the worst because Esau is starving them out, you know? But what people don't understand is the government is at war with you, man. All right, it's been a silent war, but it's finna get loud soon, man. All right, they already been putting poison in your foods when the foods are playing with normal. They already been poisoning the air. They already poisoning your mind, pollute your mind, you know, with the TV and the media. So now they're taking a step forward. They finna siege America, man.
It's about control.
Yep.
You control the food supply and the water source, you are in full control.
Yep.
You are actually at the capacity of a so-called God.
Within this article, we're going to go in about how they really attacking the middle class. Which pursuant to Revelation 13 chapter, going to about the corrupts, it stated rich and poor. It didn't state anything about the middle. You know what I'm saying? So that's the two the spectrums right there, the rich and the poor. Because the middle class will be out of that. So,
I got a precept, man, you and Yasha. Ecclesiastes 12 and 3. In the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves. A strong man. That's actually going into so-called owners, you know, like of these upper middle classes that receive residual income, but they are about to be affected. Hence your mom and pop stores. So they're going to be humbled by this time frame too. All right, why? Because the Most High through Esau is about to wipe out the middle class, which you stated was spoken of in Revelation 13 chapter. Now you're going to have what? Either rich and poor, small or great. All right, free and bond. Okay. All right, back into the scripture. And the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened.
yeah, so they let you know that it's no more type of that Murphy and Lance like where he shut down all levels, man. All these people had aspirations that things gonna get back together with the so-called pandemic. But you keep seeing Dr. Fauci on the news, he keep telling you about months later on for now. You know, he keep telling you the same thing he was telling you the same time last year, that things gonna get better. But now we in a situation right here, almost in December 2021, he's still saying the same things, how things gonna get better. The pandemic's almost over. And here we are in the same shoes that we was in earlier this year, you know?
And when you look out, and when you're looking through a window and you see darkness, what happens? You know, now you have low esteem. Now you have low mood because of depression. All right? So now you have to meet that demon called depression. Feelings of worthlessness and things of that nature. Why? Insecurity. All right? Because things are not like they used to be.
So we really seeing the fall of America right before our very own eyes. While everybody else thinking that things gonna get back to normal, everybody trying to get ready for Christmas shopping. But notice that Esau's allowing this global supply chain crisis happening in the UK right before these colder months. Why does Operation Dark Winter keep coming out, man?
Yeah.
Because this is the time frame we are in. And you all look into that Operation Dark Winter, what's called Directive 51. You know, it's like a global pandemic exercise where the DOD, which is the Department of Defense, they set up these different bioterrorism exercises to show you how to get the nation ready for a global pandemic, man. So he letting you know what's about to ready to happen before it actually happens. And this is Esau's part of prophesying on the left-hand side. What's that called? It's called predictive programs, right? Where he prophesies through articles, through movies, to TV shows, commercials, magazines. You know, the list goes on. You know, because he's trying to fulfill to the vibration of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. You know.
Yeah, and we saw an inkling of that dark winter with Dallas last year. You know, that was Esau. What did he do? He destroyed that grid for control. You know.
And they got a thing called I think it's called the global swan theory. You know, they were saying like it's gonna be like a solar storm happening. It's gonna shut down the internet for several months. So we in no time frames, man. You know.
And guess what happened? When the internet is shut down for a couple months, now when you're able to get back on or log on, now it's gonna be controlled and regulated, man. It's all about control and regulation. You wanna go back to the article? All right, it states back into this article. My supplier has limited us on orders for about a month now. Limited the physical number of cases we can order, but email explains. It states their issue was mainly the health crisis in their warehouse, order pickers, and truck drivers. Same story everywhere I know. You know? All right. 19C was always about destroying the world's economies.
And that's why this guy named Klaus Schwab, he's the founder of the World Economic Forum, and he stated that the pandemic represents a rare but narrow window of opportunity to reflect, to reimagine, and reset our world. Going through this great, this global transformation, this NWO. I mentioned the book of Job, the 10th chapter, how Job prophesied about they want to fulfill their success. You know, you go to the word success in the animal online enterprise, it goes to take in hand. What's the ultimate device that the beats of Esau Edom want to take in hand? It goes into the microchip, the Quran, you know?
I give Revelation 12 and 20.
So this so-called pandemic is a foreshadowing things before that main prophecy mentioned in Revelation 13 chapter. Go ahead, bro.
It's Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice ye heaven, and y'all and ye that dwell in them, both to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil is coming down unto you, having great wrath, because he knows that he had but a short time.
Who's the devil?
Esau Edom.
Huh?
Esau Edom.
Hey, Esau is the devil, right? Hey, and what was the last part?
Because he knows that he had but a short time.
A short time to do what? Job 5 and 12. He disappoints the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise.
Yeah, that's the Most High. He's going to utilize his only begotten son, Yahushua, to disrupt Esau's NWO agenda. Because you really think these elites, they really think they're going to fulfill this NWO 100%. And that's when Yahushua is going to upset them, you know?
Mm-hmm. And anytime you rush something, it never goes as planned. You know? When you get this article, you got to do some more research on it.
And this second Ezra chapter 16, verse 21, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Like I say, sword, all right, because once you take them, because you already look at how people are confrontational now. You know, you had those Edomites pretty much storm Trader Joe's with the mask off, all right? You got these ideologies clashing, the anti-mask, the pro-mask, you know, the pro-juice, the anti-juice. The tensions are already high now. So imagine when you take away food from the equation, man. Those swords gonna come out. You see? All these prophecies is connected together, man. You know?
So that type of vibration, but they see what's going on with like the UK, just like a few days ago, you had, I think over there in the port in Los Angeles, you had like a ship just stopped, you know what I'm saying, just land still. They had a whole lot of supplies, and I want to say a lot of essential items on there. So these Americans seeing that type of energy going on throughout mainstream news, that's going to put them into that panic buying. You know, so once you get that panic buying, that's like a high purchase environment. You just buying up items you really don't need because you're being scared of that fear tantrum, you know? So that type of behavior is going to lead to a decrease in the supply, but a higher demand. That's pretty soon going to lead to these different riots, these class wars, and things of that sort. You know?
Hey, you really gonna see people show that animalistic like behavior. And then once there's no laws or enforcement to regulate it, people are going crazy, man. That's why the scripture states lawless. That's why the scripture states how they're it should be in their hands. All right, go. Second Ezra 15, yeah. Second Ezra 15. You know, their actions shall stand in their hands, man. You know, meaning I could kill somebody, or not kill, but murder somebody for this plate and not get arrested. Why? Because there's no active law enforcement, man.
I got you real quick. Second Ezra 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their powers.
Right, you read on like Dabu, his different comments, you got people saying, hey, let's go ahead and take out these local government officials. You know, they already getting boosted in the spirit, man. So Yahweh Shai is going to amplify it even more when he makes things be more tighter and draconian for these people.
That's right.
These people not able to feed their children, things of the sort. These people going to be running to their neighbors' houses, and pretty soon they're going to be getting these local politicians, man.
They already follow one politician to the bathroom. You know, they you got citizens running up on these politicians out of the public, man.
That's right. That's right.
You know?
Hey, you look at that video, it's
Some
some
video
video.
thing with Arizona, but, you know, brother fact check, but I think it was Arizona.
It was some videos. Some guy came in, he was in the council. He just talked to him. He said, I can't hold how you feel. He said, it's a lot of them out there. They ready.
Yeah.
See, they are ready. So you ain't got no food. Hey, they coming.
Yeah, you gonna see these Edomites and see what you gonna see. Who you gonna see really getting at these politicians gonna be these Edomites.
Yeah,
man.
really.
All right, but Jake ain't gonna do shit. All right, Jake gonna get in the game so late, you know. But you gonna see these red-blooded Edomites really go in like when it's mandated that you can't go to the grocery store without the potion. You gonna see Esau losing, man. Cause Esau don't wear the mask nowhere. He don't give a damn, and he be looking like he wants you to say something, man.
Exactly.
So when they mandated to where they can't go into the grocery store or their kids can't go to school, you know, without it, that's when you gonna see Esau really just start wreaking havoc, man.
You know what's so crazy? Hey, because it's all pre-planned through Yahweh Shem Shah on the left hand side. Hey, Elder Knock forwarded me a video. The movie took place like in the 70s. I forwarded it to you. Hey, the movie took place in the 70s. This chick was taking her baby to the hospital. Now the baby was sick or something. However, the baby didn't have the mark on her forehead, neither did the mom. So the woman that was actually at the hospital stated, look, we can't help y'all. You have to have this mark. So ultimately, Esau is showing you all this shit is gonna be mandated. All right? Mandate means what? When you go into that term, to give one over to another. So Esau is using these corporations, all right, to gather the inhabitants of the world for his new world order, man. And it's plain as day.
This is back in 2nd Ezra 16 and 22. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish with famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
Yahweh Shem Shah, he's utilizing his vessel with dishonor. Esau Edom to give these elites to start these food shortages, these drastic shortages, which goes through this famine, man. You really think that the Most High, he's going to, it's like you think he's going to stop these crops from growing, but really he's pulling out his spirit upon the elites to go in here and start these shortages, man. And that's going to cause a lot of people to be in that panic mode, and these people in that panic mode, they're going to become very lawless out here. You know, it's going to be that type of mentality, every man for himself. Get it by all means, you know.
I gotta quickly back up the statement. Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will.
Hey, the nobility of Edom.
Yep.
The nobility of Edom are kings. And just like the Most High controls the water sources, hey, he controls basically the minds of Esau, man.
That's right.
You know?
Get that one time.
All right. It's Isaiah 10 and 6. I will send him against a hypocritical nation and against the people of my wrath. I will give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey.
Meaning that Yahweh Shem Shah, he's going to give Esau Edom again with these elites that command. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're in charge right now to do the bidding of the Most High. It's going to be on that left-hand side. And the hypocritical nation speaking about the 2/3 of our people that want to come back and be obedient to Yahweh Shem Shah in these very latter days, man. So that's who the Most High is going to utilize. Go ahead, bro.
All right, to take down the spoil and take the prey and tread them down like a mile of the street.
Yeah, niggas gonna lose like never before. Like as this thing plays out, you see the least prepared people on earth is Jake, man. You know, especially if you're in the black Christianity, in the black church, you're the least informed person on earth, man. You have no clue what's really going on. You know, and like I say, man, Jake ain't gonna realize, you know, that this chaos until it's tens of thousands of Jakes getting slaughtered, man. Everybody's gonna be ahead of Jake in this, man. The Most High set up Jake to take a big L in this time, man.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully so. Because Jake has been, refusing to hearken, man. You know?
We got another one too after that. All right, Proverbs 21 and 1. Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will.
Hey, this Job 12 and 9. Who knows not in all things that the hands of Yahweh Shah had wrought this?
Yeah, wrought meaning it's part of the Most High's work. You know what I'm saying? So it's part of his work to fulfill biblical prophecies to get the least of Esau Edom come down upon our people with that great wrath. To get the least of Esau Edom to cause these different food shortages. You know what I'm saying? These different lack of essential items. Over there in the UK right now, I think the president or the prime minister, Boris Johnson, he's getting the army to utilize, they doing free deliveries over there right now because it's so bad right now.
Canada.
Yeah.
You got the military, in New York replacing, healthcare workers. You see, you got those border patrol, a lot of them, they finna quit due to the mandates. So the border's gonna be wide open, man. America, it's finna be a terror house, man. It's finna be an actual haunted house, Then you got, it's October, so Esau finna be heavy into his rituals, all right? And Satan requires blood, man. And they finna sacrifice for their new world order, man. It's finna be a lot of bodies, all right? And it's finna hit the floor, man.
This is another point proving, look, this is the Most High show, man. All right, this is Second Ezra, all right, 11 and 38. Hear thou, and I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee. It's talking about the fourth beast. Art not thou it the remainest of the fourth beast, whom I made to reign in my world?
Yeah, and this is speaking of the Roman Empire, all right? But what is America? It's the last leg of the Roman Empire, man. You see, America is pretty much wrong, all right, revitalized, man. All right, the wounded, all right, head that was healed. This is America, man. Go ahead.
That the end of their times might come through them.
Yep, the end of their times, the end of who time? Esau's rulership. America will be at the peak of its power, all right, at the end of this man's rulership, man. And this is where we at. Okay.
Verse 40, 2 Ezra 11 and 40. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness.
Yep,
and
because you go into the history, the Roman Empire, they absorbed, all the empire goes around them, man. Because the Greeks, all right, they absorbed their great Persian empire, Persian empire, but then the Romans came and absorbed them. You see, you go back into the time of Antiochus, as the Apostle Elizabeth going to the history, this is where you get their story of the circle of the sand. You had their Roman senator, all right, Antiochus was trying to take down Ptolemy in Egypt, and that Roman senator, told him to fall back, and Antiochus was trying to stall, so he just drew a line around that nigga and said, look, don't come out that line till you answer me, man. And that was pretty much the beginning of Rome absorbing the Greek Empire, man. Yeah.
And 2 Ezra 11 and 40. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, had power over the world with great fearfulness.
Woo! Had power over the world with great fearfulness, man. All right? Going back to ancient Rome to the modern Rome, man. Go ahead.
And over the whole compass of the earth, with much wicked oppression, and so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit.
Dwelt he on the earth with deceit, because the scriptures say that Esau would be loose, all right? That dragon would be loose, all right? What? A little season, he would go forth and see the earth, man.
And it was started with the Renaissance period. Also eventually spurring the European colonization. All right, that's how he was able to rule over the earth with those different kingdoms under European colonization. All right, the Spaniards, the Portuguese, the British, the French. All right, and put the whole world really under shackles.
And that's the difference between America coming back as Rome Reloaded and the four beasts. Because see, the four beasts only had control on their side. But America has control over every fucking world.
It's called the American hegemony.
And I think in the book of Jeremiah says it's the hammer of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Notice the earth.
For the earth, verse 41. For the earth has thou not judged with truth, for thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, Thou hast loved liars and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit.
And this is pretty much the American reign in the earth, man. You know, America calls themselves the peacekeeper, but they'll do a false flag just to start a war with nations that don't want no smoke with it, man. None of these nations were trying to come up and invade America, man. All right? America wanted resources from these other nations. They wanted to control trade, man. America got so much influence that if Iran want to purchase, all right, something from Russia, and say it costs $200 million, well, America got to oversee that transaction, man. That's why you see all these countries trying to get out of that dollar, man. Because through that dollar, America oversees every transaction, man. That's why you call that this SWIFT system. That's America that run that, man. What other, if me and you have a transaction, but then someone has to oversee our transaction, that means he's over us, man.
Yeah.
You know, and we can't just do business straight out. So America is this empire they're speaking of, man.
And that's another, and that's another perspective of Habakkuk the second chapter. Neither keep it at home, because he put his noses in other people's businesses.
Like no, go ahead, brother.
Like the earth is giving hand to the wicked.
Yep. Like the African dinar,
Yep.
those gonna make their own currency within each other.
Yep.
And then Esau's like, well, wait a minute, I'm not in this.
Yeah.
Not involved. You know. All right, verse 40 again. I'm sorry, verse 40.
Back up real quick. And this is Revelation 13 and 12. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him,
Yep.
and caused the earth of them which dwell therein to worship the first beast.
Yeah, because when you go, like you say, he exercised all the power of the first beast in him. And going back to ancient Rome, all right, they would just get into a conflict with another nation. You know, it'd be two nations going there, they would just intervene. And whoever Rome favored, they will help them, man. You see?
Hey, gosh, who was that? We watched that documentary with Hannibal.
Yeah.
Who was that emperor when he heard how Hannibal was fucking up some shit, and then he grabbed his garment, his toga.
Oh yeah, he said you want either war or peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a senator. I don't think it was.
It was a senator?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then going into, say
No,
something
go ahead and
else.
make your point.
Hey, no, going back to exercising all the power of the first beast, the same way that Rome ruled, that's how America ruled.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Rome will intervene. America intervene in the conflict that has nothing to do with them.
Yeah, well, I was just saying that, the currency,
Yep.
the eagle on the back, or the Senate, like I said, the Roman Senate.
Yep.
We have a Senate. You're exercising all the power of the first beast. Roman numerals. Colosseums. That's where we get Colossians from. I won't be surprised if Colossians go back to Colosseum or vice versa, man.
We'll find out.
We'll find out those pillars
Yep.
on buildings.
Different terms in Latin.
Different terms in Latin. You brought back Latin.
Your lax.
Yep. The way you identify the body. Just to expound.
But even lawyers, they have to use what? Those legal terms that goes back to Rome.
Yep.
Doctors.
Doctors.
Yep. The gym.
Yep.
It actually goes Greek. But it's the same nigga.
Rome
though.
absorbed the hands. It was the Greco-Roman Empire.
Yeah. All right, a little more, bro. Whose deadly wound was healed.
Yep, whose deadly wound was healed because Rome was taken down. All right. Jake had during the Dark Ages, the pagan Roman Empire was taken down and Jake was ruling. But see, Esau came back into power during the Renaissance, man. All right? And that's why you have, in 1953, what they call the Treaty of Rome. You see? And that was, and that was those EU nations. All right? Then they formed NATO. And then you have America, that's the Horde that rise to peace, man. So Rome is back in full effect, man. And it will make sense that the same nation that pierced Yahweh Shah, that same spirit will be back today when he comes back the second. That's why he said he would not meet thee as a man. He really was speaking of Rome. You see? Because he met Rome as a man and was crucified. You see?
All right. Will you done making your point, bro? All right. 2 Ezra 11 and 42. For thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm.
Yeah, because this man, when this man came in the power, this man came all the way across the earth, man. Just to go to war, all right, with the tribes, man. You see? This man was in the western coast of Africa going to war with the tribes, man. The tribes weren't thinking about Esau, man, the Native Americans, all right? The Incas, the Aztecs, Taínos, they wasn't thinking about America. They didn't get boats and go. I mean, they weren't thinking about Esau. They didn't get boats to go to Spain and Portugal. No, Esau brought it to them, man. All right?
Just like he did us in back in '66.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? When the Rome and Jew war trying to make us tributaries and shit.
They were tributary, but you know, Jake provoked it.
Yeah, they didn't want to pay those.
They're like, but the tax was ridiculous though.
Right.
You know what they were doing. But Jake, you know, provoked it, them Zealots, Sakari, you know, them niggas. But see, it's gonna be even worse this time, man. That's why everybody back in their lot. But see, it's a remnant here that the Lord gonna lift a standard for, man. You see? But it was time for us to be punished by Esau, and the Most High allowed this man to pretty much just go through the earth and conquer it. And Jake was the main focus of his conquering, man. You got it.
Hey, well, hey, what did Esau say? I'm sorry, going back to Genesis. What did Esau say after Jacob supplanted him? What was his motive after that?
I said, days of my father.
Yeah,
I should slay my brother, man.
You know, the energy never stopped.
Yep.
Because he can't have a true kingdom without, you know, if Jake is living.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he has to eradicate Jake.
Because it's like polar, it's like polarities. One has to be up and the other has to be down with Esau and Jacob, man.
Like, good one.
Yeah, real quick. Yeah, this is Amos chapter 1, verse 11. For thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did turn perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever.
Read it again, bro.
Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword,
Yep.
and did cast off all pity.
So he cast off all pity. You know? Because every time Esau would get the ups on our people, man, he would cast off all people, man. You see? Going back, like the brother said, 70 AD, man. He had Edomites, you know, they were crucifying Jake, man. You know? Men, women, and children. And he didn't never just go to war with the men of Israel. He would always go to the women and children. Even when Gad would go hunting, he would go slaughter the village of women and children, man. Going back to Antiochus Epiphanes, he was hanging, you know, babies for being circumcised, man. You know? He never just went to war with the men of Israel. He would always go through everybody, man. The scripture say he was pretty young or old, man.
You think about it in today's science, like there's many fashions of the sword. Like Esau can utilize it, man. Who's the face of the pandemic right now? It's Jake. You know what I'm saying? When they using these different NBA stars, somebody they reject this you know what I'm saying, this jab or whatever. At the same time, that's Esau Edom setting up for that great that great reset, man. But who do you utilize it first and foremost? The people of color he keep talking about. These people around the side.
You gotta understand, there's a nature to Esau Edom. There's a nature. That's why in Genesis 25 and 23, it said 2 nations are in our womb, 2 manner of people. Then it said it said Esau was a cunning hunter. Then it describes Esau's nature contrary to Jacob's nature. Then you go into the definition. There's a nature to Esau Edom. That's why every movie, all right, every esoteric movie, they show the nature of the elites. And there's some dark party with a mask on their face, drinking in blood, having human sacrifices, or committing homosexuality, pedophilia. Why do they always show that, man? There's a nature to Esau Edom. And the Most High created because there has to be an opposite of righteousness. If all these laws make us righteousness, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not be a homosexual, then there has to be somebody else that embody the opposite of that.
That's right, bro.
The Most High created Esau to embody the opposite of righteousness.
I'm glad you said that. And 2/3 of our people cannot bridge the gap, which is spoken of in Luke the 16th chapter within the parable of Lazarus and the rich man, because of this 2 mannerism of people going all the way back to the book of Genesis. Because why? Through the Spirit, Yahweh Bashem Ashah established hatred amongst the woman and the seed of the serpent.
Because look, the nature of Jacob is what? Compassion.
Yeah.
A real Israelite has compassion, whether it's the northern kingdom or the southern kingdom.
plain man.
A plain man, righteous, moral, morally perfect. He has a godly disposition.
Complete.
He has a godly disposition to be compassionate. You know, if you destroy the stereotype of Jacob, a real Israelite is compassionate. So what would be the opposite of compassion?
Lawless.
And that would describe what you just read. And what was that you just read about?
It was Amos 1:11.
That was the opposite of Jacob. So when the Most High sick Esau on us, he sick a nation that was the opposite of the 12 tribes, man. You know? Yep.
Ecclesiastes chapter 33, beginning at verse 13. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him.
Just let you know, hey, this is the movie of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You know, according to Isaiah 46:10, the Most High said, "My counsel should stand." So what's a part of Most High's counsel? Is fulfilling biblical prophecy. So he's going to utilize whoever he wants to, so he can go ahead and get Esau out of here, man. As it says, Esau is the end of the world. So Most High had to utilize him to do these things, so the Heavenly Father can be justified by sending Yahweh Shah to get Esau out of his leadership.
Surrender to them as like a best. Good is set against evil, and life against death.
Woo! Life against death. Hey, because you look at, and you can tell, like you say, two different natures between Jacob and Esau. Because these Edomites got trillions of dollars. They should be filling the face of the earth with children, man.
Yep.
Well, here it is, you know, Jake working at Costco, got 3 baby mamas, you know, 8 kids. So Jake bring life, man. That's their nature. Esau, he want to have 1 son for an heir, 1 or 2, maybe 2, you know. And he got all the resources, but Jake, even in our poverty, still bring life, man. Like you say, even like you say, Esau, he'll be at a dark party, you know, with the mask on and all that shit. But then you go with Jake, you know, especially back in the day, like now, it's the money, because the music done got so the money. But you remember the cookouts back in the day, how live they used to be? You remember how live they used to be?
But what is Jacob's terminology? It was lit.
Yep.
It's everything that generates creativity in life.
Yep.
Because if you look up the word soul on the etymology, it tells you that it goes to the so-called black man. But soul really just means life.
Yep.
He's lively.
Yep.
That's all the 12 tribes, man. That it generates life. Music from the 70s. I've been listening to music for the 70s. There's something about it. Because it's life.
Real instruments.
Real instruments.
Creativity,
Create, man. And real, all Israel is creative, man, in one way, shape, or another, man.
Back into the article.
I got some weak
Oh, my bad, my brother.
And this prayer, Azariah, verse 9. And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies.
In the hands of lawless enemies, man. All right? You see certain hints of that in certain movies that you watch, certain visuals, like the movie Elysium. And at the end of the movie, they sent those Edomite militias on Jake, and a woman, the Ephraimite woman, she was holding her child trying to protect her from Esau Edom. And he was like, yeah, look at their protective instinct. He was looking at her like she was an animal, man. Hey, but through the Renaissance period, European colonization, global slave trade, we were taken by lawless enemies who could trample over your grandma, your granddad, who could sodomize your son and daughter, man. All right?
So the prophet Azariah, when he was Abednego, he was speaking about the ancient Babylonian captivity at this time frame.
Yep.
So are we in the daughter of Babylon? It's a reference to the leaks of Esau Edom, first and foremost. So it says, and thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of the Most High.
Most hateful forsakers of Yahweh Shai. Does not say the wicked are estranged from the womb? Estranged from what? The laws, man! Don't you understand that the Most High created 2 polar opposites in Rebecca's womb, man? Righteousness and wickedness, man. All right?
Because we always know about this is the movie, what we call life is the movie of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So within that movie, you have 2 opposing characters. On the right-hand side, you got the protagonist, which is the good guy, the leading character. And on the left-hand side, you got the antagonist, right?
In the beginning of this was the Garden of Eden. All right? The protagonist started out as Adam. But then the serpent,
He's the leading character.
he's the leading character. And it was all a plot for his overthrow. But y'all got it, brother. Look at the scripture. You know? You got it in time, Simone.
Can I bring something
Yep,
out?
yep, you got it, brother.
And you said daughter of right. Hey, this is Ezekiel 16:44. Behold, everyone that use proverbs shall use this proverb against thee,
Yep.
saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter.
Because what did the elites do? How did they come back in power? What do you call the Knights Templar? All right? The Freemasons? They practiced the same dark arts as the Babylonians.
Yeah.
All they did was to take the Babylonian dark arts and then they amplified it.
You amplify.
All those damn Edomite inventors, their commission was to take make America a Ouija board. Make America a damn alternative Satan. All right, find these certain hot spots in Babylon, and we gonna set up certain grids right here to channel Satan. All those inventions, like Ellie, I uploaded a video years ago. Those inventions by I want to say Benjamin Franklin. His whole commission, all right, was to basically make the dark arts and amplify, make a portal from America to the spirit world, man. That's why it's a fucking grid in the American blueprint, man. Thomas Edison, that's probably the one. It was Thomas Edison. He was trying to make a channel between himself and the spirit world, man.
We had a guy, Alexander Graham Bell.
Yep.
The telephone.
Yep. Which switched over to AT&T, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Bell South. Yep.
It's all what the scripture refers to Esau as what? Mysteries of witchcraft. And mysteries is just the feminine way of saying master. So he mastered all the ancient witchcraft, the ancient Egypt, Babylon, Assyria.
So it's a special reason why the Most High tell us, like, envy not thy adversaries. You gotta think about Esau, what he does on the left hand side. He tap into those magical arts. And so you have majority of our people, they want to be just like Esau evil. I was talking to the brother Mario Howard today. He was just saying, like, one of the brothers was working with a Jake, and Jake was telling him, it was like in a big invite mention. He was like, man, I don't know how they begin these mentions. This Jake, we don't know about the truth. He was telling him, man, they stole everything, man. Just showing proof that what Esau has, that everybody want to be able to be like Esau Edom, what he possesses on this side, he steals everything, man. He's tapped in on that left hand side. He's really speaking to spiritual Satan, man.
And you know why? And he's so high with Satan on the left hand side is because he bowed down and worshiped Satan, man. Going into what, Luke the 4th chapter, Matthew the 4th chapter? Yeah. See, Yahushua would not do it. But Esau, beginning with the nobility, they literally bowed down, and as a recompense for doing it, look at their technology.
And they showed they had showed that I want to say it was on Paranormal Activity, the second one. Basically, they show how that family, the reason why they got their wealth, because they had their connection with spiritual.
You have to worship them, man.
But you know why? Do you know why it's so second nature to them? Why they're on the upper, they're more on a higher level than the other nations? Because he is Satan. Esau Edom is literally the incarnate version of Satan. That's how we're the incarnate version of Yahweh Shai. So we're naturally connected to God anyway. All right, Esau is naturally connected to Satan. He naturally doesn't want to follow God.
Hey, the left hand and the right hand works the same way.
Yep.
When you worship the Most High, you know what I'm saying, through his son Yahushua, you're going to get rewarded. You're going to get more spiritual insight, and it's the same thing on the left-hand side.
And that's why the whistleblower, John Ty, he came out and said, that's why the elites, they stay over there in Europe, because they really tap into Satan on that side, man.
Wow. Hey, all guys,
it's the East.
It's the fucking East.
it's called propitiation. All gods require sacrifice.
That's right, bro.
All gods, even the Most High. What do you think the priest was for?
That's right.
The Most High literally had priests set up to have a daily sacrifice to keep you open to the spirit world, man. But there's a left hand and a right hand to that.
And sacrifice goes into the Hebrew terminology, zabat, which means to offer up. So the more you offer up your mind, spirit to the left hand or to the right hand side, the more you're gonna get reward.
And then you have to make offerings to appease the Most High.
Right.
Daily sacrifice.
Daily.
So it's like tribute from the Most High. All gods require, in order for your land to prosper, you gotta pay a daily tribute to the spirit world. On the left hand or the right hand.
Yeah. So Esau has his left hand priests. Going to these popes, these doctors, lawyers, these scientists. So that's his left hand energy.
But what's the tribute on the left hand? human sacrifice.
Yeah.
In order to maintain your power, we gotta have a certain amount of spirits coming back to us every
Blood
day.
sacrifice.
Blood sacrifice. Your child molestation. Yep. Oh yeah, if you ever get your license, man, they actually you want to donate organs, say hell to the dog, politely.
You know, you gotta tell them like Mr. Turner, hell no! Tell them just like that.
Hey, this Ecclesiastes 1 and 15. That which is crooked cannot be made straight.
Hey, Esau cannot be made straight. Why? Because the Most High had perfected him to be the wicked. All right, so you can't do a goddamn thing about making Esau righteous. The only time you see a so-called white person that's righteous, he's an Israelite, based on the lineage of his father.
You go to the Hebrew word for straight, it says to set in order.
To set in order. You know? Yeah.
I've been Habakkuk 2 and 4. Behold, his soul is wicked, is lifted up. It's not upright.
And guess who's passing by? You see how the spirit works? You know, that's a testament that this is the spirit. Hey, can I give a quick reset? Make your point, make your point. Hey, get Mark 16.
Anyway, that's why the Most High stripped you of
No, that's
melanin,
reset, man.
stripped you of pigmentation. There was a token. See, the Most High deals with tokens and signs. Like in the wild, if you watch Planet Earth, Animal Planet, this particular animal has this particular stripe to communicate to you that's poison, stay away from it. All right, this particular animal has his antlers a certain way to show you not that's a wild animal that'll bite you, stay away from it. This poisonous frog has these loud colors to say, no, that's poison. If it bites you, you will die. The Most High stripped Esau eating with melanin to show you he ain't right. He ain't right, man.
He ain't supposed to be here.
He ain't supposed to be here, man.
Not Joshua.
A Joshua man. He has no reason to be in the garden.
And that goes to the nature too.
Yeah, it goes to
like to be wasted, but he's a waster.
Hey, woo! Hey, is this the man that made the earth to tremble? You know, they would say they did
He's Shake Kingdoms.
Shake Kingdoms, man.
Right.
You know? They said something like made the earth the wilderness or something like that.
Yep.
That's his nature.
Hey, because really, the society is like a wilderness. And everybody just pretty much goes off impulse.
Instinct.
Yeah, that's why you can get a shootout in a gas station, at a nightclub. I think Jake's out in school in Texas today. That's a wild nature. Like, you know, you would go to the jungle, you would see a random fight between panthers, you know, or some monkeys or some shit. You would see a random fight, but that's how Esau got this society. That's a random world star shit. Yeah.
So this society is designed to suppress your fucking spirit and appease the flesh.
Hey, well, that's why you got Sirach 10. And basically, the way the king is how the people are under his rulership.
So showing he's an unwise king.
Yep.
But this nigga, he done knock off acres of land and put a golf course there. You know what I'm saying? That's why it makes sense how it says how the fir trees are going to rejoice when Esau be taken down, man. Yeah, strip mall.
Same strip mall.
Subdivision. You know? Hey, get there.
Like this is the book of Mark 16 and 20. And they went forth and preached everywhere.
So we're in this stand now, or will we stay? Go ahead.
The Lord working with them
The Most High working with us via the Spirit
and confirming the word with signs following.
and confirming the word with signs following. So we was making the point about Esau and what happened. Some Edomites passed by in a fucking caravan.
Yep.
All right, that is a token that Yahweh Shem Shah is dealing. But you have to have that outside or that spiritual insight to see it.
Whence comest thou?
Whence comest thou, Satan? Hey, go.
It's Sirach 12:13.
Right.
Who would pit a charmer that is bitten with a serpent?
Yeah, 2/3 of our people are charmers, man, and they love playing with these cobras, all right, these black mambas, these green mambas, these death outlaws, okay? By you believing in his system, you are being charmed. I mean, you're playing with the snake. Who's the snake? Going back to the Garden of Egypt, but this time, the Garden of Eden, right? Who now he's fully grown as that serpent-like snake, okay? Enter the dragon.
Hey, like you say, like you always say, like if you want to be a rapper now, who can feel sorry for you? What happened to you?
Yeah.
You know, because Jake know how this man get down now. You know, it was different in the 90s. You know, everybody wasn't, you know, hip to what this man's industry was all about. And this one got way worse since then.
And you still got, cause you got Jake think, well, I'm gonna be different. Like you always say,
Yeah,
Jake think
man.
Jake think he gonna get out on Esau. Like, no.
He gonna charm the serpent.
Yeah, he gonna join the serpent.
But you only rent the house. If you're renting the house, you have no control over. Okay, I'm gonna change the exterior. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. No, you're just a renter.
Yeah, it's like a woman saying, you know, you calling a woman over, right? You know you want to have sex, and she like, I ain't gonna do nothing. I'm just gonna come over and see what he's talking about. Like, you know what it is.
Yeah.
But in your mind, you say, I ain't finna do nothing. I'm gonna come over there and see what he got to be talking about.
She was asking, well, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
At 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I ain't come over here for no milk and cookies.
You saw how Mike Tyson was, the 18-year-old in the hotel?
Yeah.
It's like, what were you doing in the hotel anyway?
I got a piece of it.
All right, bro.
Hey, and what Yasha was saying, you think about it, you got all these jakes coming out, it's about the music industry, what you gotta do, all these sadistic rituals, and you still have Jake on the coming board and say, check out my beat. You know what I'm saying? They still trying to make it within the music industry, you know? So, hey, what Brother Tyson was reading, man, it's proof, man.
But what did Baby do? What Baby say? He said, Lord knows what I did to make sure my son shines.
But you know what, quick point, you know what those Israelites doing? They pulling an Edomite, they pulling an Esau.
Yeah.
They selling their soul for one morsel of meat.
They work that microwave success.
Yep, yep.
But look at the results. Look at Carol's. Carol showed you on what's the name of that joint you listen to? I wish. That nigga told his mom, he said, I want out. But it's hard, mama. And then nigga bowed his head and he walked off. Because once you go into those doors of Esau, you can't come back out. And if you come back out, you're never the same. Why? Because you have been morally corrupt.
Hey, y'all seen Beanie Siegel lately?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man.
Yeah. Who was that?
Beanie Siegel. This nigga got one lung and still smoking cigarettes, man. Like he about to drop dead pretty soon.
Or any such as come not wild beasts.
Mm-hmm. So Esau's a wild beast. All right, and at the end of the day, if you get bit by this serpent, you deserve it. Because you have the prophets, you have these so-called whistleblowers who are Edomites telling you the same thing about this so-called agenda. You know?
You also got Jake within this Hollywood realm. They spilling the beans sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got all this evidence and you still want to say, man, well, it ain't going to happen to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, go be it.
That's cool. Like, go have a good one.
Now you mentioned the serpent, right?
Yeah,
I just want to bring this scripture out right quick.
Sure.
Revelations 1, Revelation 21. And I saw an angel come down from heaven,
Right.
having the key of the bottomless pit,
Right.
and a great chain in his hand.
Right.
He laid hold on the dragon.
Who is that? That's Yahweh Shai. All right, why? Because basically that goes to show you Yahweh Shai has the power to give dominions. All right, that's how we know through the Spirit Yahweh Shai was Isaac. Because basically he was able to give Esau a blessing, which is a kingdom, and ultimately give Jacob, which is what? The kingdom of heaven. Read that again there.
All right, verse 20, Revelations 20 and 2, Salah.
Right.
And he laid hold on the dragon, the old serpent.
Who's the dragon? Esau. You know what I'm saying? Esau. And he laid hold to him, meaning what? He put him in submission, and there you have what? The dark ages, the middle
He
ages.
said, you mentioned the garden. You know, that's why I said the old serpent.
Damn, that's right.
You know, showing you there's a continuation of Genesis.
But you see the growth. He was known as a snake, but right at this time frame, he was a serpent. So that's growth.
That's also known as a damn power, a nation.
Yeah.
You know, that one serpent morphed into a damn power.
Yeah.
Look at America now.
Yep.
You know, look at how Rome,
Yep.
and then look at America now.
Yep.
You see how they
Yep.
just one
Elevate.
step elevate.
And I think it took Gad to come over here like 1.5 year. But also, I think it took Columbus to come over here like 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? To show you the growth of technology. You see that? The apostles are going into how those people on the ship with him, they was about to ready, give up, come against Christopher Columbus. And that's when the St. Elmo's fire came about.
The angels led him over here, man.
A man's going to
That's right.
She started manifest destiny.
which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
Right, and that's Esau, meaning Esau was basically in servitude for 1,000 years, going into the time frame of the Dark Ages or the Middle Ages, man. Or the Byzantine Empire. Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
And it's Habakkuk 2 and 4. Behold, his soul is which is lifted up. It's not right in him.
Right, because the Most High has programmed Esau to be the wicked. He's crooked, okay? And there's nothing you can do about it. All right, all of this is set up in the spirit, like the brother Shakal was saying, or the priest Shaquat. Hey, somebody has to play the wicked, somebody has to play the righteous. And all praises to Yahweh Shem Hashem that we are Israelites. Because we could have been a fucking Edomite, man. I'm telling you, man. I would have found out, killed myself in reincarnation. Go ahead, man.
But the just shall live by
Hey,
his
but the
faith.
just shall live by his faith. The just going into what? The soon to be nobility of the nation of Israel.
Showing what faith is a lifestyle.
Dang.
You know?
That's right.
Said live by faith. Hey, because hey, we come to a time where our decision making has to be based on faith, man. Because at the end of the day, Esau Edom got this thing sold up carnally.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like the grid, your paycheck, your car, your house. And you don't own nothing.
Yeah.
You know what they call it? Eminent domain.
Yeah.
So you can have a $2 million mansion that you pay cash for, but the government can just say eminent domain. All right? Yeah, take that shit. That's right. You see? So, carnally, this man got this shit sold up. There ain't nothing you can do carnally. Like, you hear the troopers say, you know, what's called hydro gardens. You know, some shit like that. Yeah, it might work for a week or two. You see? But when it really get on, when Esau really, all right, put the press on, it's not going to work, man.
Hey, that's why the scripture states what? That no man should buy you.
No man.
No man. Only Yahweh Shah can save us, man. That's it. Ain't nothing you or anybody else can do that's within this system break free, man. All right?
I got one. This Sirach 21 and 2, it says, flee from sin as from the face of a serpent. For if thou comest too near it, it will bite thee.
Right. And how does it bite you? By enticing you. How? Through your mindset, through your belief system. All right. And 2/3 of our people are being enticed, and therefore they are getting bitten. All right. They're getting bitten over and over and over again, and that final bite is spoken of in Revelation the 13th chapter. So hey, if they get it, let them get it. But at the same time frame, you have to have a mindset to move forward, no matter who is affected.
You know, Jake want to get back to everything back to normal. They don't give a damn what it takes. They don't care. They want to go to the football game, basketball game, have a big old party. They don't give a fuck. They just want to get everything back to normal. So guess what? They won't get big.
Hey, CNN told you last year that things would never go back to so-called normal. And they have been, in this sense, men of their word.
Yeah.
Nigga Fauci keeps saying the same shit over and over, man. And he had a little slick ass.
You know what he said? These niggas know they stupid.
And it says, it will bite thee, the teeth thereof are as the teeth of a lion slaying the souls of men.
Those legislations, man. Those legislations. Those draconian measures he's going to put down upon these people.
The teeth of lion.
You know what I'm saying? He's going to tighten that grip harder and harder, man. So what you see what's going on in the UK is just a foreshadowing things what's going to happen here in America, man.
And that teeth also, you can equate this, bro, to their military. You know, because they're going to enforce that shit.
Draconian measures.
The draconian measures.
The other one that posted, right? About National Guard was filling in those spots. in the hospital.
Yeah.
And you got some National Guard you driving the bus, man. But it's really gonna get real when UN troops come, man. You know, but that's who's gonna enforce, all right, Esau agenda by way of death, man. They gonna be holding court in the streets. You see? And so this man is getting ready to get real tyrannical, all right, in America, man. Censorship, when you understand dictatorship, the beginning phase is censorship. You know, they don't want no alternative narratives going around. They want one narrative, man. That's the beginning of a dictatorship is heavy censorship, man.
Fascism.
Yep.
You know, when the corporations take control over everything, and no more bomb and pop stores. Man.
So going back to the article we were asking, is America under a collapse with the food supply chain? And, this is Revelation 22 and 10. And he said unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand.
Time is at hand. know. But we here, man, like, when you see how everything is lining up, like he's not planning to stretch this thing out too much further, man. Because that's why, you know, with these mandates, he pretty much turned America to a big death camp, man. And when he activates these things, ain't no telling how many bodies gonna drop. So we in time now, all right, when this man wants to put a stamp, wants to put a crown on his enterprise, man, because it's too much coming out. You know, every day that he waits, more exposure happens, man. So he's trying to clamp this thing up, like Facebook and all that crashing. That means that man is losing the information war, man. For him to have to do that, to crash Facebook, you know, then he gonna use his propaganda for more control, man. You know? So this man is losing his spiritual war. All right, so he's finna get just straight corner, man. He's finna go back to the element, man.
Which is his MO.
Yeah, it's like a wrestler trying to box, man. After he keep getting hit, what he gonna do? He gonna start grabbing. Keep boxing, yeah. Lumped up, he gonna grab you, man.
Hey, with that, we hope you brothers and sisters were edified. And once again, we want to give our honor and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
Double honor to our elder apostles, elder bishops, and great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the house of David the elect. Above, above.
Above, above.
Om Yashua.
Om Yashua.
Shalom. Shalom.